Have you ever felt like you just wanted a place where you could really breathe out? Like everything has been pushing you too hard and you just want some space, some time just to breathe? Not the kind of break where you take a few days off and then fall right back into the same routine, but a place where your pace naturally slows down. A place where each month passes without feeling stretched by bills, daily expenses, and that constant pressure of having to keep up. And sometimes, what wears people down the most isn't the job itself, it's the loop. Going to work, coming home, then doing it all over again. The longer you live, the more you realize you want something simpler, something easier, something with less pressure. That's why this channel exists. Europe on Sale isn't made like real estate advertising. We're not selling a perfect dream, and we're definitely not trying to rush you into anything. What we do is look for ordinary homes. Homes with low entry prices, clear photos, information you can actually check, and most importantly, places you can step into with a reasonable plan. Some homes are ready to live in. Some just need a bit of work to feel more comfortable. But the goal is always the same, to give you an option, maybe a second home, a place that brings you some peace without adding more weight to your life. In today's video, we're looking at two properties in very different parts of Italy, but they share one thing that makes people stop and look again. Both are priced at 18,000 euros. That's far lower than the usual prices around them. And because of that, a very natural question comes up. Could this be your kind of dream? Could this be a place where you actually stop and enjoy life? The first home is in Umbria, in Gualdo Cattaneo. It's a multi-room apartment, around 80 square meters, with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's laid out over 2 levels and has 2 separate entrances. What really makes it easy to like is the terrace, around 20 square meters, looking out toward the hills, the kind of space where you can have a slow breakfast, or just sit quietly in the sunlight. The second home takes us south to Sicily, to Vizzini. This one is a fully independent townhouse, also around 80 square meters. It comes with a rooftop terrace, 2 balconies, and a private garage. Those are details that really stand out at this budget level. From a daily living point of view, this is the kind of house many people will pause on longer. It feels more complete, more practical, even though it still needs careful thought around comfort and running costs. So today, just watch slowly. There's no pressure, no decision you need to make right now. This is simply a journey to help you see another way of living more clearly, and to ask yourself whether it fits your own story. And now, let's begin. Gualdo Cattaneo sits right in the middle of the hills of Umbria. This is one of those places people don't really talk about in terms of profit or returns. They talk about how it feels to live there. The air is fresh, but in a very gentle way. The light is soft. And life here moves much slower than in big cities. In the morning, you hear fewer cars. You hear more wind. The community is small, not crowded, and simple routines like going for a coffee, shopping for food, or walking around the village become part of a very real kind of calm. And right in this setting, there's an apartment that makes people stop for a moment when they see the price. It's listed at 18,000 euros, around 80 square meters in size. When you put that next to prices around it, the difference becomes very clear. You're entering the market at a level that's only a small part of what homes usually cost in this area. In terms of layout, this is a multi-room apartment spread over 2 levels. It has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. That's a very comfortable setup, especially for retirees or for anyone who wants space when family comes to visit. The standout feature is the terrace. It's generous, and it looks out over the hills. There are also 2 separate entrances, which gives the place a stronger sense of privacy than many older village apartments. If you picture a quiet morning, soft sunlight, sitting outside with a cup of tea and looking at the hills in the distance, this is the kind of space that gives a home a reason to be lived in, not just a reason to be cheap. When it comes to daily services, the strength of this location is balance. In the village itself, there's a small market and a post office, enough for everyday needs. For bigger services, a nearby town offers supermarkets, pharmacies, schools, even a gym. so you keep the quiet of village life without being cut off from comfort. Hospitals and a main train station are within a short drive, and the local airport isn't far either, which makes coming and going much easier than in more remote villages. As for the surroundings, this is the kind of place where your day trips are other people's vacations. Medieval towns, wine regions, stone squares, old churches, slow afternoons. For others, these places take time and money to reach. For you, they're just nearby, and then you come back home to your small village. Of course, with a price like this, there are things to look at carefully. The energy rating is on the lower side, so if you want year-round comfort, you may want to improve things like windows, insulation, or airflow. And with village homes, checking paperwork and making sure everything matches reality is always important. But when you place those points next to the entry price, they usually feel manageable, as long as you come in with a proper plan. And I know you do, because you're a thoughtful viewer, right? So here's a small question to sit with. With an apartment that has a wide terrace overlooking the hills of Umbria at a price like this, do you need it to be perfect from day one? Or do you just need it to be good enough to begin a different way of living? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now let's move on to our second home for today. Vizzini is the kind of Sicilian town where the first feeling you get is something like a postcard, but not a polished one, a real one right in front of your eyes. Stone streets, old corners, stronger southern light. Life here moves slower, but there's still local energy around you. That's always been Sicily's character, not glossy, but full of atmosphere, full of stories. And if you're someone who loves warmth, sunlight, and that feeling of life happening around you, this is the kind of place that's easy to fall for. This second home is also priced at 18,000 euros, around 80 square meters, so the entry level stays very similar to the first one. But what's interesting is how complete this one feels. It's a fully independent townhouse, no shared building fees. It comes with a rooftop terrace, 2 balconies, and most importantly, a private garage. For many people, especially as we get older, having a safe and easy place to park isn't a luxury, it's a real everyday comfort. When you compare it to the surrounding market, the price stands out in a very clear way. Homes in Vizzini usually sit much higher. The wider area is higher still, so when a house with a terrace and balconies comes in at this level, it honestly feels like good value for what you're getting. In terms of daily life, Vizzini covers the basics well. There's a discount supermarket, pharmacies, fuel stations, and a main road running through the area that connects larger cities on the island. The local train station is a short drive away. Bigger hospitals are in nearby towns, and when it comes to flying, you've got 2 airports within reasonable distance. For international buyers, that matters more than people sometimes admit. Being able to arrive and leave without a long, exhausting journey makes ownership feel much easier. As for the surroundings, Vizzini has its own identity. Right near the center is an old historic area that's been turned into a cultural and outdoor performance space. It feels very different from typical tourist towns. A little further out, there are countryside resorts and nearby historic cities known for ceramics, old stairways, and slow afternoons, perfect for simple day trips. This part of Sicily isn't right on the coast like people often imagine, but in return, you get something more grounded, real inland life, sunlight, space, and a lot of very ordinary, very pleasant days. Of course, there are things to be mindful of. Like many homes at this price level, the energy rating is low, so running costs and comfort upgrades should be part of the plan. Terraces and balconies are wonderful, but they also need proper waterproofing and maintenance over time. And as always with older Italian homes, checking paperwork and making sure everything matches reality is essential. But once again, when you place those points next to the entry price, they usually feel acceptable, as long as you don't expect to buy a home and live there for decades without touching a thing. And now, a question for you, our smart viewers. Are you at a point in life where you're ready to put in a bit of effort to build the home you imagine, to paint a wall yourself, to slowly shape the place where you'll sit and watch the sunset of your own life? Take a moment and think about that. We've just been through a pretty slow journey. Not slow because there wasn't enough information. Slow in the way you slow down to really look and really think. When you watch homes like these, the feeling usually doesn't hit right away. At first, there's curiosity, because the price alone is enough to make anyone pause. Then comes a bit of doubt, because in the world most of us know, homes rarely come with numbers that feel this light. And if you stay with it long enough, the feeling often shifts again. It becomes calmer, more grounded, and maybe more honest with yourself. Because this isn't just about looking at houses, it's about different ways of living. It's about the difference between owning a home to actually live in and owning a home that turns into something you have to carry every month. Many of us have lived through a phase where everything was about things going up. Home prices, daily expenses, the pressure to keep a lifestyle that quietly pushes past what we can handle. At some point, the question changes. It's no longer how much can I buy, it becomes how do I want to live in the years ahead. Prices like 18,000 euros can sound suspicious at first. That reaction is completely normal. But when you place them in the right context, they start to make sense. These are not homes in major city centers, where prices are driven by speculation and short-term demand. They're in places where life moves slower, where the population is stable or gently shrinking, where value is shaped by real daily life in the local community. And most importantly, they reflect the home as it really is. No polish, no promises it can't keep. The real value of choices like these isn't about looking impressive. It's about lower living costs, about not spending most of your income on space you barely use. Taxes, ownership costs, and maintenance in these areas are usually reasonable. That creates a different kind of stability, financial stability, and with that, mental calm. When the pressure eases, people naturally slow down, without forcing it. Of course, it wouldn't be honest to say these homes are perfect. They're not. Some need comfort upgrades. Some need attention to energy use, maintenance, or paperwork. But their value isn't in having no problems. It's in the fact that those problems are manageable if you come in with clear expectations and a real plan. Instead of paying for ready-made perfection, you're paying for the chance to build a long-term life your own way. Try to imagine a very ordinary day once things have settled. You open the window in the morning, light fills a room that isn't big but feels calm. You step onto a terrace or a balcony, not to admire a view, just to sit quietly for a few minutes. You walk to a nearby shop, you greet a few familiar faces. In the afternoon, maybe you drive a short distance to a nearby town, or maybe you stay home and let time pass without feeling restless. Nothing special happens, but nothing feels heavy either. And maybe that's when the most important question shows up. When you look at options like these, are you searching for a perfect house, or are you really looking for a life that feels a little lighter than the one you have now? If you want, share your thoughts. What about today's 2 homes made you pause longer, and why? We read every comment, because sometimes it's the viewer's perspective that makes this journey feel complete. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If this way of looking at things feels right to you, subscribe and keep walking with us. In the next video, we'll open another door somewhere in Europe. No rush, no big promises, just trying to see clearly and live a little lighter.